Welcome to another episode of Gone Again. Today I want to share with you what I've found to be the perfect cooking stove setup for our little 6x10 cargo trailer. Stick around. As far as the stoves themselves go, there's really nothing new here under the sun. These are the ones I've tried, and each one has its pros and cons. Let's get into that. This is a stove we started out with, and it's a great little stove. I've owned this stove for many years, but and it works quite well. But there's two things against it. I seldom ever need two burners. I can't remember really needing two burners. Usually when we're cooking on the road, it's one pot meals, and you know, I just don't need two burners. But the biggest problem with it is its size. This thing takes up half of my tabletop in my cargo trailer. It's just too big. And I don't like this bottle flopping around out here either. It just seems so unwieldy to me to have this set up. I absolutely love this stove. This little one burner butane stove sits kind of low, very stable, and it's just as easy can be. But the problem is it doesn't burn as hot as propane, and when these bottles start to run out of fuel, you're stuck with like a half an hour of really low flame before you finally actually do run out. So if you're trying to cook something and the bottle gets low, it's just a problem. And of course the fuel is very expensive. This little container here costs $3.50. Otherwise, it's a great stove. Then there's a little one burner stove, these little Coleman stoves and other manufacturers. You can buy these at Walmart. They're $20, $25 at the most. And they're pretty trouble-free. They work extremely well, but they also have problems. One of the main problems is you got to watch what the bottom is on your bottle. This style bottom will not work. You need to make sure you got a bottom that's got a square corner on it. So it sits in there stable. Of course, one problem with these stoves, if you got them sitting on any sort of a countertop, they're tall, so they're hard to work with. Let's turn it off for a second here, and you can see if you're trying to cook. Now, my granddaughter here is just a little shorter than my wife by a few inches, but you get the picture though that. It would just be very inconvenient to cook like that. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's a major drawback to that style stove. But let me show you what I came up with to fix that. This is just a little 4-foot plastic table that we picked up at, I don't know, Walmart or someplace. And it's what we bring along with us on our trips. This table has seen a lot of miles, and a lot of meals have been cooked on it. But you can see here that I modified the table to take that stove. Now, this is nothing new. I'm sure you folks have seen people cut a hole in their countertop in their tiny house, or in the countertop of their cargo trailer, or whatever they're building, and then they supposedly drop the stove in that and cook. But there's a main problem with that. So let me show you that, you know, it's pretty slick, really. Low down, stable, easy to use. But if that stove was sitting down here on top of the table by just cutting a hole in the table, and you put a fry pan on top of it, the flames coming out the side are going to scorch your countertop or your table. So what I've done is just taken a piece of plywood, this is 1/2-inch plywood, and cut a donut out of it. I installed a piece of sheet metal on top of that. This piece of aluminum, just scrap aluminum that I had. And these screws hold the aluminum to the plywood, and then the plywood is held to the table by some screws from underneath. And when I replace this table, I'll put this unit on the new table. There's something else though I need to show you that I did to the stove. To give the stove a little more clearance, allow a little more airflow for cooling, I installed these little stainless steel bolts with a little acorn nut underneath on each of the four corners, just to provide some more airflow. So once again, just to reiterate, can you imagine if this was sitting flush on a tabletop on this edge right here, and then a fry pan or a large flat bottom teapot sitting on top? It's going to radiate that heat right down to your countertop and burn it. So this was to alleviate that problem. Anyway, I hope I've shown you something you can use. And be sure, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click on that like button. Give me a thumbs up, please. And hit that notification bell too down the lower right hand corner, and we'll see you around.